Good afternoon, and welcome to today's webinar, Death Management in OVRS. This program is approved by the State of Ohio Board of Embalmers and Funeral Directors for 1 hour of continuing education credit in the Laws and Rules category. Please remember, it won't be available on demand, and you must stay on for at least 50 minutes to earn your credit. You are required to answer attendance verification throughout the program. We'll be launching those polls twice. OFDA is proud to provide education that supports your professional growth, so be sure to visit ofdaonline.org for more educational opportunities. If you need technical assistance or want to submit questions for the presenters, please use the Q&A box. While questions will not be answered live, they will be reviewed and addressed after the session. Now, it's my pleasure to go ahead and introduce Andrew Allman, Executive Director of OFDA, to introduce our speakers.
Thank you, Joseph, and hello, OFDA. We know many of you have been eager for today's program brought to you by the Ohio Department of Health, Bureau of Vital Stats. OFDA partnered with Vital Stats to provide as much information to its members as ODH does the rollout of the new system here. So in just a couple of weeks, Ohio will begin transitioning from the current EDRS system to the new Ohio Vital Record System, OVRS or OVRS. Today, the Vital Stats team will walk through key features with 5 short videos, and then commentary will follow each one of those segments. The webinar will be recorded and made available to all OFDA members to view, although CE will only be provided to those who attend today's webinar. We will have Q&A available. It's not going to be live per se, but we're going to take that Q&A. We're going to work with Vital Stats to put together a one-pager, an FAQ sheet to help you as members of OFDA. Before we get started, I want to give a gracious thank you to our 2025 sustaining sponsors. Their support allowed us to offer this program complimentary to all OFDA members. Joining us this afternoon are Judy Nagy, Rena Buller, and Joshua Levy from the Bureau of Vital Statistics, along with OFDA past president Gary Burr, who will provide highlights and key features and share some lessons from his experiences with Indiana's similar system that was launched just about 5 years ago. And with that, I'll turn things over to Judy to get us started. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for having us today. As many of you experienced a few weeks ago, our current EDRS system is becoming increasingly unreliable as it continues to age. Back about 20 years ago, we started that RFP for the system, and now it's getting to the end of its life. We had some recent outages that was basically due to some incompatibility between the server and our software. So although we've identified the root cause, you may still get some similar disruptions between now and when we transition over to the new system. So let's go ahead and talk about the conversion and something that we're going to be doing in 4 phases. Details about the phase transition should have been sent to you via email within the past week. And if you haven't received it, please go ahead and go to odh.ohio.gov and check with the Vital Statistic News. There you'll see the schedule and how we're going to phase all the counties into the system starting Wednesday, October 22nd, and concluding on Monday, December 15th. In today's training, we're going to go through some key features of the new OVRS system. And we do have 4 short vignettes instead of 5 because we wanted to make sure that we had enough time. And it goes through from what you see on your screen, creating your OHID account and enrolling in OVRS. If you still haven't done that, please, please, please watch the video and make sure that you get going on that as soon as possible. Everyone that uses the no OVRS system must have their own unique account linked to their unique email address. So at your funeral home, you cannot use the same email address to host more than 1 account. These accounts are different than what you have currently in EDRS. So yes, you will have a different ID and password going forward on the new system. The second vignette is going to talk a little bit about our system overview and navigation. We look at some new general workflows, how to search, queue management, and basically you're going to see the 2 specific pathways we have. We're still going to have a hybrid of drop to paper as well as electronic. So we're going to go through how that looks in the new system. Third video, we're going to talk a little bit about electronic certification. From day one, all of the corners will definitely be all electronic. So we want to just make sure that you understand that workflow and how you're going to deal with your corner. And then lastly, we're going to talk a lot about disposition permits, how they operate in the system, and ordering certified copies, also through the new ordering portal through OVRS. That is going to be a new permit approval process, as well as a payment process using your credit card. So make sure that you pay attention to that, because those two things are brand new and a lot different than what we do today. So with that overview, I'm going to ask that we play the first video and enjoy. This is OHID enrollment.
Hello, I am Dan. In this video, I will guide you through how to create an OHID account and register for the Ohio Vital Records System, also known as OVRS or OVRS. Let's get started. First, open your browser and go to ohid.ohio.gov. On the homepage, click the button that says Create an Account. This will take you to the OHID registration page, where you'll be guided step by step. Begin by entering an email address you can access. A PIN number will be sent to that email for verification. If you don't see the email, check your spam folder or follow the troubleshooting steps on the page. Once you receive the PIN, enter it into the form and continue. Next, provide your personal information, your first and last name, and your date of birth. The last 4 digits of your Social Security number are optional, but entering them can help verify your identity. When you're ready, click Submit to move on to creating your username. Choose a unique username. If your first choice is taken, try adding a number or an initial. Then, create your password. It must be at least 12 characters long and meet the security requirements listed on the page. You'll then be asked to provide a phone number for account recovery. This step is optional, but highly recommended. For this tutorial, we'll skip it. Now, review the terms and conditions. Check the Agree box, and then click Create Account. Great. You've now created your OHID account. Let's log in with the username and password we just set up. You may want to save your username and password for easier access in the future. Once you're logged in, you'll see your new dashboard. Your dashboard is where you can access any tile or app you're assigned to or registered for using OHID. To return to the dashboard at any time, click My Apps in the menu bar. Now let's locate the OVRS app. Go to the App Store tab, type OVRS into the search bar, and click Search. Once you see Ohio Vital Records System in the results, select Request Access. Review the terms and conditions once more, then click Agree and send the request. You now have access to OVRS through your OHID account. Let's open the app and begin the OVRS registration process. On the registration page, start by typing the name of your facility. For example, if you work for Cleveland Clinic, Type until the name appears in the dropdown, then select it. We will then see a follow-up question, such as, are you a medical certifier? Choose yes or no. Once you answer, the rest of the form will appear. Any field highlighted in red is required. Some details will autofill based on your OHID account and facility, but you'll need to complete the remaining fields. Enter your license number, issue date, title, and phone number. Confirm that the address pre-filled from your facility is accurate. When finished, affirm your information and click Save. That would complete your registration as a medical certifier. Now, let's look at how it works if you're registering as a funeral director. The process is very similar. Start typing the facility name until it appears, then select it. If you're affiliated with multiple facilities, you can add them here as well. You can register up to 10 facilities during this initial setup. If you need more than 10, email OVRS at odh.ohio.gov. You'll be prompted with a question like, are you a funeral director? Answer, so that the rest of the form will appear. Fill in the required fields shown in red. Enter your funeral director license number, making sure to follow the correct format. It should begin with FD dot, then 6 digits following, including all zeros. Make sure that your full legal name is as it appeared at the time of issuance, along with the original license issue date. Next, answer whether or not you are an embalmer. If you select yes, you'll also need to provide the same details for your embalmer license, including the correct format. Check to make sure you have your full legal name at issuance, the original date your license was issued, and the state the license was issued. Finally, provide your contact phone number and double check that the address information is correct. When everything is filled out, scroll to the bottom, affirm your information, and click Save. That completes your enrollment into OVRS. You'll be notified once your request has been reviewed, or you can check back in the app at any time. Finally, return to your OHID dashboard. We recommend starring your OVRS app to favorite it. This moves it to the top of your dashboard for easy access. And that's it. You've successfully created your OHID account and registered for OVRS. Thanks for following along.
As you can see, creating an OHID account is quick and straightforward. It takes about 5 minutes to complete. If you're a funeral director in Williams, Fulton, Lucas, Ottawa, Erie, Lorain, Cuyahoga, Lake, Ashtabula, Summit, or Geauga counties, your transition to OVRS will begin Wednesday, October 22nd. If you currently work in one of these counties, please make sure you are ready with your OVRS account prior to your system's go-live date. Once the county transitions, any cases already started in EDRS must be completed there. The ability to start new cases in EDRS will be removed, and all new cases must be created and filed in OVRS. Next, we'll take a closer look at the new OVRS system, how to search, start, and manage cases, review the account status bar, make edits, and manage your work queues.
Welcome back. In this video, I'll show you how to start, locate, update, and complete a death record as a funeral home. We'll walk through the steps, review statuses, validate pages, and sign a death record as the funeral director using the drop to paper method. Let's begin by starting a death record. First, go to Life Events at the top of the page, then Death, and select Start or Edit New Case. Or you can select Death Start or Edit New Case from the home page under Fast Links. In OVRS or OVRS, we refer to death records as cases. Notice how the required fields are indicated by red arrows and outlined in red. We will have to enter the first and last name, the date of death, and the sex, at minimum, to be able to hit search and continue. OVRS will then perform a search for an existing record to avoid creating duplicate records. If there are no cases that match, you are then able to click the Start New Case button to begin the death record. It will save the information you entered into the search and assign a case ID. You can continue to enter the rest of the details to finish the case. Now let's try finding a case we started, but haven't finished. Let's go back to the top of the page and select Main, then click Home to return to the home page. Next, you can go to Life Events, then Death, and click Locate Case. Or you can use Death Locate Case on the home page under Fast Links. You can search in several ways, but here we'll use the case ID, then click Search. Once it returns the case, click the name of the decedent to enter the case. At the top, you'll see key details like the case ID, the name of the decedent, the date of death, and the current statuses. These may show as personal invalid, medical invalid, not registered and unsigned. We'll take note of the status changes as we go through completing the case. A death case has two main parts under the death registration menu. The personal information section contains demographics provided by the family or informant. The medical certification section is completed by the certifier, such as a physician or coroner. Next, scroll to the bottom of the page and then click Validate Page. Notice the icons that appear next to the different pages on our menu. A green check mark means the page is complete. A red X means required fields are still missing. Let's fix the resident address page. Take note that each part of the address has its own field. Be sure to enter the right part of the address in its respective field. This is a key difference between the old system and OVRS. Let's validate the page to make sure the red X is now a green check mark, indicating all the required fields are completed correctly. Next, let's fix the disposition page. This is a burial disposition, so we'll select burial in the drop-down menu and enter a date of disposition. Anytime you see this magnifying glass icon, it means you must look up a facility, location, or certifier using this new lookup feature. For example, let's search for the place of disposition or location where the decedent will be buried. You can use the % as a wildcard to broaden your search. Placing it before your search term finds results that end with that term. For example, typing %, then park, will return names that end with park. Placing it after your search term finds results that start with that term. For example, typing green, then % will return names that begin with green. And placing it both before and after your search term will find results that contain that word anywhere in the name. For example, typing % memorial, then % again, will return all cemeteries that include the word memorial in the name, no matter where it appears. Once selected, the information will auto-populate into the fields below. If you can't find the location, you can enter it manually. But be sure to contact the help desk so it can be added to the system. Your information as the funeral director will already be pre-filled. Let's try and validate the page now. When we click Validate Page, the system gives us a soft edit reminder. It's letting us know some fields should not be left blank. In this case, it's the section number, lot number, and grave number. These fields will be indicated by showing in yellow. Here's something important. If you don't have this information yet, that's okay. You can always enter it later. I'll show you how you can still move forward. Scroll to the bottom. Check the boxes in the Override column. Then click Save Overrides. Take note. The status has changed to Personal Valid with Exceptions. And that's perfectly fine. But here's the key difference. You now have the option to sign this case, as the Sign page has appeared in our death registration menu at the bottom of our personal information section. Now, watch what happens if we try to print the form for the physician before signing the case. Go to the Print Forms link in our death registration menu under Other Links. If we go to Print Forms before signing, the system won't let us drop to paper. That's because the case has to be signed first. In other words, the physician's form won't be accessible until the funeral home signs the case. So let's go back. Head over to the Sign page. Check the box to affirm, then click Affirm. Now that we have signed the case, we will return to the Print Forms page. Notice the Drop to Paper link is now active. When you click it, a pop-up appears. It reminds you that once a record is signed in order to drop to paper, you can't make any more edits to the case. Click OK to continue. The medical certification worksheet will now download. Let's open the downloaded attachment. Always double check that the case ID in the top right corner matches the case ID in OVRS. Next, you'll provide this worksheet to the physician so they can complete the medical certification portion. You can send it by fax, by email, or deliver it in person to their office. Now, if we go back on the Print Forms page, you'll now see the message. Already dropped to paper. Once the physician has filled out and signed the worksheet, save it to a folder on your computer. Next, I'll go over how to upload the worksheet once it's completed and return to you. We're back in OVRS. locate the case, and then once in the case from the side menu, look under Other Links. Then click on the Attachments link. Select New Attachment. From the drop-down, select Medical Certification Worksheet as the attachment type. Click Choose File, find the signed worksheet on your computer, and upload it. Here's a helpful tip. Make sure the file name you see is the correct document before you save. Then click Save. You'll now see it listed under Attachments. If you want to double-check, click View. This will download the file again so you can confirm. When you're finished, click Close. You'll also notice a check mark next to Attachments in the side menu, showing an attachment has been successfully uploaded into OVRS for this case. Now, let's take one last look at the status bar. The case still shows personal valid with exceptions because we're missing the section, lot, and grave numbers. And again, that's fine for now. But here's the key change. It now shows drop to paper ready because the medical certification worksheet has been uploaded and is waiting to be reviewed by the state. It's still medical invalid, not registered, and medical pending until the worksheet gets reviewed. It's signed because the funeral director signed the case. Let's return to the home page. Here you will be able to check your work queue at a glance by clicking on the plus sign under Queues directly on your home page. This is known as your registration work queue summary and can be found again at the top of the page under your menu option Queues. You can check messages through your Fast Link shortcut, Messages, and even enter a case directly from your message for convenience by clicking the name of the decedent. In this video, we walked through easy navigation from the home page. We reviewed the process of starting, locating, updating, and completing a death case in OVRS. You learned how to enter required information, validate pages, correct errors, and sign the record as the funeral director. We also reviewed how to select a burial disposition, handle exceptions, and use the drop to paper method. Thank you for following along.
You may have noticed a few new fields in the funeral director sections of the record. One of these is the burial information area, which includes plots and grave numbers. This information is very valuable to veterans associations who honor former service members by decorating their graves. Even after a funeral, these fields remain open if you need to add or update information later. Another important change, a state file number is no longer assigned when a record is first created. It will only be generated once the record is registered. As you just saw, the drop to paper workflow is a major improvement in the new OVRS system. Funeral directors will no longer need to e-file, walk in, or mail completed certificates for registration. Instead, completed worksheets will be uploaded and attached to the decedent's record. Once received, the information will be queued with the state, where the information will be keyed, reviewed, and registered. Once a record is registered, it will appear in your messages queue, alerting you that the case is now registered and copies can be ordered. We'll have state staff keying the medical certification worksheets throughout the day, 7 days a week. So we anticipate a turnaround time of less than 1 business day to complete a death registration. Incomplete or ineligible paperwork will be returned to the funeral home with a note indicating why it cannot be accepted for the registration of the record. The next video will show how to request medical certification from a coroner or any physician who is an electronic certifier in OVRS. Before we do that, Gary, anything you want to add?
Yes, thank you. I would say that two of the main things that I would want to bring out in that section is the status bar across the top. That's an easy way to keep track of what's going on. You can see where your record's at as far as being signed, completed, registered, and so you can always pull that record up and find where your progress is. A little bit different way to enter the death or addresses. You have to put in the number in one block, the name of the street in one block, and then you have a drop down for street or avenue or anything like that. So that's just a little bit different way to do that. And then a very helpful thing that we have is the wild card. So there's times where I'm looking for something, I hit that wild card and it brings everything up with that that name in it, or so even if you have a physician where it's a Smith and the first name starts with a B, you can type Smith and B and it'll just pull up all of those. So it's a way to sort through things a lot easier. So those are my areas to talk about on that section. Thank you.
Great, thanks a lot. And with that, let's take a look at how this will work in the next video.
Welcome back. In this video, I'll show you how to request medical certification in OVRS. This case will be a cremation disposition, and we'll go over how to send this to an e-physician who is registered and available to certify the record electronically. Let's start by using the fast links to locate a case that's been started previously. We'll do this by clicking on Death, Locate Case. We'll search for the case using the case ID. Once the results return, we'll click the name of the decedent to enter the case. Now that we're in the case, let's review the statuses. This case is personal valid because the personal information section has been completed. It is signed because the funeral director who started the case has signed it. We can confirm this by noticing the check mark on the sign page. It is medical invalid because the medical certification section has not yet been completed. Therefore, it will also not be registered or certified and remains in medical pending status. Next, let's visit the disposition page to confirm the disposition is cremation. Once confirmed, let's check the print forms page to see what we're able to do at this point. Go to the print forms page under Other Links. Here, you'll notice we can print a draft copy of the death certificate. But we can't order a disposition permit yet because no cause of death has been provided and the case has not been certified. Remember, for a cremation disposition, a cause of death is required in order to be able to order the permit. We'll show you in another video how to use the ordering portal to do this once a case has been certified or has a disposition of a burial. For now, let's get this over to our coroner in order to move forward with the case. Go to the Request Medical Certification link under Other Links in our menu. Remember, anytime we see the magnifying glass, we must use the lookup feature. Let's look up our coroner. Type in the last name of your certifier at minimum to continue with the search. Then click Select to add our coroner to this case. Notice how OVRS recognizes your certifier's office, since they are already registered, so you don't need to add or look up that information yourself. You can use the eraser icon next to the magnifying glass to clear out any selected results if needed. The message box below is what the office you're sending this to will see. You can add any important details for them here before saving. Now click Save to send the request. Notice the status bar now shows medical certification requested. We have successfully sent this case to the coroner. We can now return to home and wait for the office to certify the record for us. In this video, we reviewed how to locate a case, confirm its statuses, verify the disposition, check available print options, and request medical certification from a coroner to move the case forward. Thank you for following along.
Requesting an electronic certification in OVRS is a simple process. When searching for a physician or coroner, you'll notice that their associated location automatically appears. This feature ensures that anyone linked to that location also receives a notification when a death record requires certification. It's especially helpful in cases where the attending physician or coroner is out of the office and another provider is covering cases. Please note that a specific physician must always be selected when assigning a record for certification. The location information cannot be used to locate an individual. It will only display once a physician has been chosen from the lookup table. Finally, keep in mind that we are continuously onboarding new physicians. Some providers who currently certify records electronically in EDRS may not yet be registered in the OVRS system. Anything else you want to add to this one for us, Gary?
Just a couple things that I thought about when I do the search, when I'm looking up a case, I usually don't know the case number. So I do the search by the name. It just seems to be faster. And again, you can use that wildcard. And then I believe you can check your status in your messages. There should be a mark that comes through when you request certification from an electronic signer. It should say that a message has been sent, and it should say that they have accepted, I believe, as they progress through. So you can also kind of keep track of what's going on through your messages.
Great, thank you. All right, finally, let's look at the new permit and certified copy ordering processes.
Welcome back. In a previous video, we requested medical certification using the drop to paper method. In this video, we'll return to that case and show you how to order the disposition permit and certified copies of the death certificate using the ordering portal. Let's start by using the fast links to locate the case. We can use this shortcut by clicking the Death Locate Case button on our homepage. Now I'm going to search by entering the case ID. Once the results appear, I'll open the case by clicking on the decedent's name. Now that we're in the case, you'll notice the status bar shows personal valid with exceptions. This is because exceptions were made on the disposition page. We previously skipped the burial details because they weren't available. Now that we have them, let's enter the information. First, go to the sign page and unsign the record to regain edit access, since the case hasn't been registered with a cause of death yet. Now, let's return to the disposition page to enter the numbers. Once the information is entered, scroll to the bottom of the page, Validate page, uncheck the boxes in the Override column, and then click Save Overrides. Notice that the status has now changed from personal valid with exceptions to personal valid. Also, you may notice a yellow circle next to the disposition page in the death registration menu will be replaced with a green check mark. Let's move on to printing the disposition permit. Go to Print Forms under Other Links. Notice that we cannot print the permit until the case is signed or certified and a paid order has been placed. Since this is a burial disposition and the case is in drop to paper ready status, we can proceed without waiting for the medical certifier to certify the case and provide a cause of death, which would have been required for a cremation disposition. OVRS will not allow you to print a disposition permit for cremation without a cause of death. But because this is a burial, all we need to do is go back and sign the case, since we unsigned it earlier to make edits. To do this, go back to the sign page and complete the signing process. Now that the case is signed, we can go to the Order Certified Copies page under Other Links to place a paid order for the disposition permit. Welcome to the OVRS ordering portal. This is where all orders must be made. Notice the new sidebar menu. It will guide us through each page of the process. We start on the applicant page, where your organization details should already be pre-filled. Click Next at the bottom of the page to continue. On the Services page, from the drop-down, select the local office where the death occurred. Here's a pro tip. You can start typing the office name to jump directly to it. Once the office is selected, the option to click Add Service will appear. For this order, select a disposition permit fee from the service type drop-down menu. Enter a quantity of 1, choose regular for priority, and select mail for delivery. These fields are required, as indicated by the red arrows. Click Save to see the line item, details, and fees, then Next to continue. Now we are on the Payments page. Click Add Payment and enter your card number, expiration date, and CVC. Once you are finished entering your credit card information, you can click Authorize on the far right to process the payment. Once the status is approved, click Next. On the summary page, review your details, then click Submit Order. We completed the disposition permit order successfully. We are now redirected back to the death case. From the Other Links menu, select Print Forms. Now you can print your disposition permit. It will appear as an active blue hyperlink, ready to download and print as many times as needed. Next, let's walk through ordering certified copies of the death certificate. Go back to the Other Links menu and select Order Certified Copies. On the applicant page, Your details are already filled in. Click Next. On the Services page, you can select any local health department office in Ohio. Click on the drop-down menu and type to search faster. Click the Add Service button once it appears. From the drop-down for service, select Death Certificate. Enter the number of copies you need in the quantity field. The first 10 have a surcharge, and any more additional copies have an extra fee. For priority, we'll select regular. For delivery, choose counter if you'll pick them up, or mail if you want them shipped. Click Save. Take note of the line item and fees, then Next. On the Payments page, add your card information. Click Authorize. Once approved, click Next. On the Summary page, review the details and click Submit Order. Once submitted successfully, it should take us back to the record. To see your past orders, go to the top menu and select Order Processing, then click Search. Here, you can use multiple ways to search for your order. We will search by registrant, using the decedent's first and last name. The results may show multiple line items with links for the same order number, but they all lead to the same order record. Click the first item to view the summary page for the death certificate order. Click Return to go back to the results. Next, select a different order number. That will take you to the summary page of the disposition permit order. Click Return again. Note that the same order number may appear multiple times representing different stages, but each one links to the same summary page if they share the same order number. In this tutorial, we walked through how to order and print a disposition permit and certified copies of a death certificate using the OVRS ordering portal. We also covered how to resolve exceptions in the disposition page, update case details, complete payments, and track order statuses using the order processing menu. Thank you for following along.
So now that you've seen the new permitting and ordering workflows, let's highlight a few key points. The permit process is now fully automated and driven by both record status and payment confirmation. Local registrars and sub-registrars will no longer approve permits. The system handles that automatically. All permit payments must be made by credit card with a small 95-cent processing fee per decedent. Certified copies can also be ordered through the new ordering portal using a credit card. Orders are transmitted electronically to any local vital records office you choose. There is a $6 transaction fee per decedent for ordering up to 10 copies, in addition to the local registrar's own fees. Please review each local office's refund and exchange policies before placing your order, since all offices have different fees and policies when processing certified copy orders. Let's recap with a few important resources and next steps. First and foremost, video recordings. All of today's videos will be hosted as one video for the full presentation on the OFDA website. Please encourage any staff who couldn't attend today to please review them. The Q&A, so questions. A few of you have been posting in the Q&A. Thank you very much for that. We will be answering all of those. OFDA will be going through those and sending those over to me, and I will be getting some answers as well as an FAQ that we'll be able to post later on once we have all of that completed. In addition, any questions later on that you have, please don't hesitate to send an email to ovrs@odh.ohio.gov. We have a practice environment or a test environment. If you'd like access to our UAT test site to explore the system and create sample records, please again email ovrs@odh.ohio.gov. You'll probably hear me say that a lot over the next long time, hopefully. You'll be able to practice creating records and using the queues, though full registration will require a physician or coroner. So you'll be able to do the first part for sure. Manuals and tip sheets. The full manual and additional reference materials will also be available in the OVRS system in the forms area. Funeral directors will not be receiving an email containing the videos or manual. Once the system goes live, we'll offer dedicated online office hours for anyone who has questions or about completing a certificate. To participate, you will need access to a computer and the ability to join a Microsoft Teams meeting. Please note that call-in participation will not be available, as the sessions will include visual demonstrations that require you to view the screen. We've found that this interactive format is especially helpful for users who would like additional guidance while becoming familiar with the new system. Before we close, just a few reminders. During the transition, you may be working in two systems, both EDRS and OVRS, depending on where your county is in the rollout. Once your county is live in OVRS, access to EDRS will be limited to just updating and certifying a previously entered record. New cases will not be permitted to be entered once your county has been transitioned into the new system. There will be two filing pathways in OVRS, depending on whether a case is electronic or dropped to paper. From day one, all coroner cases will be electronic, but many of your current electronic certifiers will not be available on the new system. We will be contacting every physician who completes a medical certification form to encourage them to register in OVRS, but we cannot mandate participation. The drop to paper process in OVRS now allows you to print a medical certification form rather than the full death certificate. Once this form is completed, it must be uploaded directly into OVRS so the cause of death information can be entered. Please note that local registrars will no longer be able to issue certified copies upon completion of this paperwork. For that reason, do not forward the medical certification form to the local registrar. Please familiarize yourself on how you can upload documents to your computer. There are lots of YouTube videos showing how you can scan and make the document available. Since all systems are different, ODH cannot provide a specific pathway that you should use for this process. And finally, we recognize that encouraging physician participation in electronic systems can be challenging. We truly appreciate your continued partnership and communication in helping providers adjust to these new workflows. Our team remains committed to supporting these efforts and expanding the number of physicians who electronically certified records in OVRS. Before we end, I would like to thank OFDA for their efforts in helping to provide this opportunity today. And I'd also like to turn it back over to Gary for any additional comments that you want to add to things. Gary?
Yeah, thank you. I have a few things. I know how much funeral directors love change. There's going to be some growing pains, but it's not that bad of a platform. It's actually a pretty easy platform to use once you get used to it. It takes me about 5 minutes to enter a new case, about the same as it takes me to do a case in the current Ohio system. Right now, it just looks like it's going to be a little clunky, but with experience, it's going to improve. The more times you do it, the easier it's going to be. So just give it a chance. The one thing about being able to order the death certificate copies, it will save having to run to multiple health departments. So that should help save some time and some money, hopefully. And I would encourage you to contact your local doctors that you work with often to help them get into the system. I contacted our local coroner today and asked him to reach out to all the physicians in his group and encourage them to get all signed up before October 22nd, because that's when our county goes live. Well, the last thing I wanted to say is when I heard about this tiered rollout, initially I thought that was a bad idea. But I can tell you from experience, when Indiana rolled out their newest update, they did the whole state at one time. Their previous platform ended at midnight on December 31st, and the new one started at 12:01 on January 1st, and it was chaos for about 2 months. There were doctors who weren't in the systems. There were certificates that had been started in the old system that didn't transfer to the new system. And for 2 months, it was terrible until they got it all worked out. Allowing this to be rolled out in tiers is going to help ODH to handle those issues and work out those bugs on those first couple counties. And then hopefully by the time it gets to the southern part of the state in Southern Ohio, they'll have a nice smooth transition. But I'd like to thank you for letting me participate. And if anybody has any questions, you can reach out to me directly. Thank you.
All
Thanks,
right, you
Gary.
had a lot of questions in the queue, about 50 questions and growing. Okay, all right. Well, on behalf of OFDA, thank you all for joining us today. We hope you found this program on the new OVRS system helpful. OFDA is especially grateful to the Ohio Department of Health Bureau of Vital Statistics for collaborating on this presentation, and to past President Gary Burr for sharing his insights. A few quick reminders before we close. Your certificate for credit will be sent to your email address on file that you used for registration. I'm going to process that attendance right after this program closes, so just stay by your emails and you'll get that certificate. In addition to a program evaluation, your feedback helps OFDA improve future education offerings. So please take a few moments to fill out the evaluation and send it back to us. We'd appreciate that feedback. For any certificate related questions, if you have an issue related to your certificate, you can email us at support@seminarweb.com or 737-201-2059. That information is also on the emails we're going to send you in the signature line. So just reply back and let us know what's going on. We'll correct it for you. As everyone transitions to the new system, we do wish you a smooth and seamless experience. So again, thank you everybody for your insights, your participation, and for attending today. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.